Marital communication is like a spotlight. It reveals when something is lacking or wrong. Ideally, a married couple uses communication to show love. Ideally, the words we use to speak to our spouse are sweet, uplifting, kind, encouraging, but sadly, too often we use words as a weapon.
It makes sense that the person who can hurt us the most is our spouse, right? We love them, and who really cares what a stranger has to say?
That's very true. Often I might even speak to a stranger kinder than I speak to you, which is not right.
Don't know about that with you, but I've seen that with other people.
Well, in the past. When words become a weapon, when communicating with your spouse feels like a war zone, it becomes pretty obvious.
So there's sort of different levels. Ideally, you're relaxed and enjoying each other's company. But, sometimes there's something lacking. A hint for that might be if you're noticing sort of unsure, quiet, nervous conversation. And then things can be just plain wrong, right? Like rudeness and aggression, disrespect, showing contempt, that you're just way off track at that point, right?
Yeah, I've noticed that in the past with us, that was the case.
For sure.
When something was really wrong, you can definitely see it. It was like a thick atmosphere of just, bad.
Right. Right. But avoiding that by not communicating at all is not the answer, right? You still,
Right.
Shine the spotlight, fix the problem, right?
Yeah. And as you recall, in previous posts, we've pointed out how one of the great commandments is to love your neighbor, and that your spouse is your number one neighbor. And so it's a good idea to keep it in mind that the way you're communicating with your spouse really reveals how well you're doing with that.
So we'd like to invite you to just consider how you're doing your communication, how you're treating your spouse, how you're loving your number one neighbor there. And, whether you're doing that the way Christ commanded us to, and just really dedicate yourself to working on that. And we'll see you next time.